Brian, it's time for a book report. Now, I don't have an intro for James's book report.
Because you never thought you'd read another book?
No, and I haven't, but The Guardian did.
Okay.
Book report.
This is, it doesn't say Brian's book report. It's just book report. It's you singing.
Yeah.
Anyone can use it, really.
Yeah.
If you want to use it in another podcast, give us a call. We'll let it to you. So The Guardian has a report on a book that's not out yet. It's out April 2nd. It's called No Miracles Needed. And it is by a fella that I've been following for a lot of years. Very smart man. An academic at Stanford University in California named Mark Jacobson. And again, the title is No Miracles Needed. A reference to Bill Gates, I think, said we need miracles. We need to develop miracles to solve the energy transition. And he says this is kind of a rebuttal to that.
Poor Bill Gates. He said so many things that people come back later and call him on.
I'm surprised we didn't get a call to write a blurb for the book, because this is basically our show. This book is our show. This says that we don't have time for anything else. The existing technologies, wind, solar, batteries of different kinds that are currently available, and even some odd ones that he mentions, but they are available, are all we need to solve the energy transition. We could actually do it, like 95% of it by 2035, if we deployed what we have now. And then that also increases a mass deployment of these technologies that we have now and speeds up their improvement. We see wind turbines and solar panels improving with what they can output and their price coming down. This speeds up with a quick adoption of it. And so many people who listen to the show, and so many people who talk to me on the street and relatives, they all have their own pet fix. My son, my damn bastard son. If you're listening, Nathan, he said, "Oh, nuclear's great. You stick a rod in and it lasts for years." Yeah, but how much does it cost to build the power plant? Well, I don't know, but it lasts for years.
I'm sure he'll appreciate this assessment.
And then he's in engineering, so he's got all these other engineers with their own things, and they're kiboshing this and kiboshing that, and all engineers apparently have a thought on that. I was listening to a radio program, What on Earth, which is also a podcast on clean energy, and they were talking about different people about teaching climate classes in university, and some of them were not climate people, but they said they had a lot of engineering students. And the engineering students all came to the table with their own thing. It's like, it's a problem that can be engineered. The solution can be engineered. And they mentioned things like umbrellas in space. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. And God knows how that's more complicated than it sounds. And God knows when that would even launch if you did something like that. If that was the only solution, it would take, 20 years at least. We don't have time. Jacobson has scores of academic papers to his name. I'm reading from The Guardian now. And he has been influential in policies passed by cities, states, countries around the world targeting 100% green power. But he's also controversial, Brian, not least for pursuing a $10 million lawsuit against researchers who claimed his work was flawed, which he later dropped. But he is highly regarded and people do follow his policy. Bill Gates said we have to put a lot of money into miracle technologies, Jacobson says, but we don't. We have the technologies that we need. Wind, solar, geothermal, hydro, electric cars. We have batteries, heat pumps, energy efficiency improvements. We have the technology to do all this. We have 95% of the technologies right now that we need to solve the problem. The missing 5% is for long-distance aircraft and ships, he says, for which hydrogen-powered fuel cells can be developed. That's the 5% of the 95 that's not. The 95 is solvable. It's energy. So wind and solar are cheaper too. So average bills will fall 63%, he says. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And not a bad thing. But if you buy nuclear, then it's up 63% or 163%. It's stupid. Jacobson divides approaches to the energy transition into two camps. One says we should try everything. They're the all of above camp. And keep investing huge amounts of money in technologies that may or may not be available to work in 10 years, like small nuclear reactors, according to our local government here. 10 years is too late. Carbon emissions, and write this down, kids, if it's not in your brains right now, carbon emissions must fall by 45% by 2030. to keep on track for no more than 1.5 degrees of global heating. 45% by 2030. That's not frickin' umbrellas in space in 2060, people. This is a thing that can and needs to be solved right now. Jacobson says, let's focus on what we have to deploy and deploy it as fast as possible. 7 million people die every year from just air pollution, Brian. 7 million. And that, why wait for that? Why wait for millions of people to die? Storage can be batteries, pumped hydro, flywheels even, he says, compressed air. But Jacobson thinks batteries will win because of cost. Perhaps they can contribute, but they'll have to compete on cost. So new research indicates that electric vehicle batteries alone could provide the short-term storage needed by global grids by as early as 2030. So people say, but the sun doesn't shine all day. Well, if everybody has an electric car, an electric bus, electric truck, the grid is going to be different.
The grid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and in terms of batteries, I mean, we still have to ramp up battery production, and it is still ramping up, and that will take some time. But yeah, in the meantime, you can make batteries out of pumping water up a hill, basically. I mean, there's other ways to do a battery. And other people have said we need solid state batteries in our cars, like these, hypothetical solid state batteries would be better. And, lots of people are pursuing that. But the fact is, the lithium ion batteries we have now work just fine. We don't have to have
delay
that
anything.
technology.
Don't wait for solid state. Solid state will come. It could be here sooner than we
But don't
think.
wait.
It might be 2030. It might be even later than that. But don't wait. Let's get going now. That's a good point.